So, Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 disappearance. How many of you remember that issue that happened in 2014? So the flight number was MH370, and the craft is a Boeing 777-200ER. Yes, it's a Boeing 777-200ER, and this happened on March 8th, 2014. The flight actually was in Kuala Lumpur, that is in Malaysia. It was heading to Beijing, China, and it had about 239 passengers. 239, that includes 227 passengers and 12 crew members. And this plane took off. Now, the plane departed the Kuala Lumpur at 12:41 a.m. local time. That's when it departed the airport. It was heading to Beijing. Then the last contact that the plane had was at 1:19 a.m. The final voice communication was "Good night, Malaysia 370. Good night, Malaysia 370. And shortly after that, the plane's transponder was turned off while flying over the South China Sea. Immediately after that, good night, Malaysia 370, the transponder was turned off. Who knows what actually happened that made it to turn off? Though shortly after, military radar later showed the aircraft that turned sharply west, crossed back over the peninsula, flew northwest over the Andaman Sea. After that, radar contact was lost. That means the plane was struggling on the air. It was struggling on the air. Satellite handshake data, although radar lost the plane, satellite data from some other places between the aircraft and the satellites analysis suggested that the plane continued flying for about 7 hours after disappearing. That means the pilots were doing all they could to make sure that they don't crash. They were making sure the plane was still flying for after 7 hours. After it lost communication, it was still flying for over 7 hours before it finally disappeared from the radar. Ah, my God. Then the final satellite signal that was received was around 8:19 a.m. That was the final time that they received signal. Sad. It was really a sad time because as at that year, 2014, it was really sad. They were searching for it and all that. Actually, this became the largest and the most expensive search in aviation history. It became the largest and the most expensive. It covered tons of thousands of square meters of ocean floor. Involved multiple countries. Both Malaysia were looking for them, Australia was looking for them, China, United States, and other countries were looking for them. They used deep sea sonar and autonomous underwater vehicles. They were searching for that plane. Despite years of searching, the main wreckage has never been located. Can you imagine? The main wreckage was not located. Although they discovered some debris in the beginning of 2015, pieces of the aircraft debris washed ashore in the Reunion Island at French territory at Mozambique, Tanzania, Madagascar, South Africa. So sad. No official final conclusion has been reached, but major theories include pilot involvement, that they were also hijacking, also mechanical failure, and everything that happened. But it remains in our hearts. It remains in our hearts. One of the aviation's greatest mysteries, like the MH370. It's a mystery. It changed international flight tracking rules. Airlines must now track aircraft more closely. They now track aircraft more closely than before. Ongoing calls on families to resume searches remains a major case study in aviation safety and crisis management. You see, all these things but they remain in our hearts. They remain in our hearts. We don't forget about them. RIP to those that are lost. Then those that are alive, we keep striving. Peace and love. Thank you very much for listening to our stories today.